So we're going to do straight up. We are going to freestyle this one. We've been dealing with a lot of issues. Neither one of us want to deal with political issues, and that's just for personal reasons because we know that a lot of people don't really enjoy them or they enjoy them too much.
I think there's a lot of things that are going on right now, especially for the certain circumstances that is going on. The incident in Barcelona, Spain, with a couple of United States Americans, were murdered. Not only that, the issues that were happening in Charlotte, North Carolina, with the racist march. Not everybody was talking about that, and do understand. I come from a family of, I'm Puerto Rican, but our descent is European, Indian, and African.
See, so and then
our culture comes from.
I'm Irish and Italian. First of all, Irish, no offense against blacks or Puerto Ricans or anything like that, but Irish were the first oppressed Americans ever. When we came off the boat, we were known as like the dirtbags of New York City and our beginning of our country. If you ever watch Gangs of New York, we are known as the dirtbags. We don't even belong in the same saloons as the Italians and the Germans and all that stuff. We're the scumbags, the dirtbags.
Well, you guys were one of the biggest appraised, issues back then with the Irish culture, and then that was the biggest thing.
We were forced out of our own country because of our famine. We had potatoes. I mean, literally, I know it sounds ridiculous, but it was our number one crop, and we had a horrible couple of years, and that's when people really started coming over, is the potato famine. I know it sounds ridiculous, but look it up in your history books, Google, whatever you want to look up.
The potato famine.
We literally, we lost everything. People lost farms. Because they really did have banks back then. You were buying and selling everything and taking money, and you had your land, and I mean,
you didn't grow enough.
It's a stupid reference, but Braveheart, I mean, you really got to see how, lands were segregated and how much people really cared. And it turned out that, it was the Scottish. It was actually, I believe it originally started off as an Irish movie, but Mel Gibson couldn't get a full Irish accent down, so he went with Scottish.
They wanted to start off in Ireland about the situation.
Yeah.
But they didn't think there was enough criteria for that. So we went with the Scottish because the Scottish had a lot more
I think they were also worried
background.
about pissing off a lot of Irishmen.
Well, it wasn't always that. It was also, saying, the certain laws that happened in Europe and London. London was one of the biggest, crops.
It was the suppression.
Yeah, it was the biggest suppression ever. And they were pushing people away. Who was the closest to London? Scotland. You know what I'm saying? So they pushed the factor, they pushed the benefactor, they pushed that whole boundary, and then they came about it now. Now we're dealing with this shit, which is just like how it was back in those movies. You see certain things in those movies, and now it's reenactments, but in real life. It's about blacks versus whites. And through the whole youth thing, with all due respect, God didn't create us to hate each other.
No, He didn't. He created us to love each other. If anything, if positivity, or what is it, the saying is creativity, I can't even think of it. Creativity promotes positivity. Positivity creates.
I know where you're coming from.
I forget the saying, but Ireland itself, if you ever see it on a map, there's this weird line at the top, and that is literally liberals versus the rest of the country.
Yep.
They hate the fact that there's literally this small sliver, and I forget what it's called, but it's the States of Ireland or something like that, and it's Ireland, and it's so weird that to even see a country that has been through so much, almost like our country. Our country has literally been through the ringer. We have the largest death toll ever for a war, the Civil War. According to people counting everything and all of that stuff, we still, to this day, have the largest death toll to any war that I'm aware of, at least. Even when we dropped a bomb on Hiroshima. We are still, the worst ever. The Civil War.
Kill ourselves.
We fought our brothers and sisters. We were talking about this the other day. Robert E. Lee was one of the best generals ever for our country before we did the Civil War. And because Virginia was a southern state, he went with Virginia. Stonewall Jackson, because he was in the North. His family was in the North. He went with the North. These are people that serve together all the time.
Oh yeah.
It would
and to think all that
it's
history,
insane, man.
all that history in the United States of America, we still have so much bigotry in our own state. We kill ourselves a lot more than what any person in the other countries do. We kill ourselves more than ISIS, and that's the saddest thing.
We claim ourselves
we
as
are the most populated. We're the most populated continent ever. People come to us
to get the American dream. That's what I was just about to say.
They come to us. We don't go. I mean, yeah.
But we deteriorate the American dream so much.
Well, I don't
what
think
is the American dream anymore?
Well, the American dream still stands as, you know what I'm saying, you can become what you want to be as long as you believe in yourself.
Can you though?
Yes, you can.
Here still?
There's certain boundaries that happen, but you know what? Rules make rules, and you got to go by the rules. But sometimes people break the rules, and you know what? You'll be amazed that Cesar Millan wasn't illegal. The dog whisperer. And the funny thing is, he got his citizenship the year before he started his show. George Lopez wasn't illegal.
I don't like George Lopez.
Loved by the American people.
Do me a favor, look up George Lopez versus Joe Rogan. George Lopez has literally made his fortune on stealing other people's jokes. Please do me a favor and look up Joe Rogan versus George Lopez. I grew up with some really awesome people. Vinny Brand is one of my good buddies growing up. His dad owned this amazing comedy club in New Brunswick, New Jersey. Shout out to the Stress Factory.
Stress Factory.
His father, is an amazing comic himself. They have brought me all over to different comedy clubs, plus on family vacations with them when I was going through a large struggle as myself when my family didn't want me. When I say, like, I was homeless and my family didn't want me and things like that, I'm dead serious. I had this amazing family, the Brand family, that would bring me on vacations to Florida, to Lake Placid, New York. Like, the first time I ever jumped off a cliff with my buddy Vinny, which is Vincent Brand's son. Look him up. Like, I'm dead serious. Look up his stuff. Stress Factory, Vinny Brand. Super hilarious guy. He does kind of like the Z100, like, prank phone calls every single night at his comedy club. Hilarious dude. Julian McCullen, who actually became a pretty good, well-known actor / comedian, started off there. Greg Giraldo, R.I.P., actually overdosed when he was supposed to play at the Stress Factory.
Oh, yeah.
Really good people have been all over there. I've met Dave Chappelle. I've met Chris Rock. I've met some really good people, and I've had some really good nights there. But regardless of that, I had this amazing family, and I'm sure at the end of the day, because I was such a shitty person at that time, I didn't know who I was, and I didn't know where I was or how to act. I probably disrespected them in several different ways, and they might not think the world of me anymore. But at one point, with their son, I was their son. I was their best friend's son. I was their son, going on vacations, having good times, having people that really cared about me when they probably shouldn't have. No.
But you know what? You grow up and you learn from that.
Exactly.
And that's the biggest thing.
I'm 31 now. I'm here. I know what I did wrong. I know where I did.
That's the best positive theory of today that should let people know that, you know, you can't be racist.
You can come from here and get to here. But there's those amazing people, like I was just saying, that get you to that point.
Oh, yeah.
No one makes it on their own.
Nobody makes it on their own. People work hard, but there's always people that help them in the long run. Steve Harvey, he was one of the best comedians, kings of comedy. I mean, come on. He came out, when he started Steve Harvey show, he was getting surprised left and right from people who gave him, and he never ever in his life said he did it on his own. He said, there's people I wish I could find right now that I don't even know where to start. Dude,
Bernie Mac, man. R.I.P. Bernie Mac,
Bernie Mac,
bro.
too, man.
I miss that dude so much.
Love, he gave so much love to everybody, man.
When he gave, Bumblebee to Shia LaBeouf in the first Transformers, dude, he's yelling at his fake mom across the way. He's like, yo, mama!
Mama.
And then she's like cursing at him, and he's just like, oh no. And then like cursing, I'll bust you in the head. Dude, that was hilarious.
That was one of the that was the one thing. Like they had a special.
What do they
Steve
call him?
Harvey
The something of comedy.
King of Comedy.
The King of Comedy. Is
He
that what it
one-
was?
Yeah, him.
It was
D.L.
Steve Harvey,
Hughley,
Cedric the Entertainer. Yeah.
and Bernie Mac.
Yep.
And you know, it's a blessing, you know, to see those people that where they came from. These are people who became something from issues from their past.
And there are people out there that became amazing
Yeah.
overnight.
Dealing with the fact that, you know, they're dealing with, you know, bigotry, being not treated as an equal in this American culture, when yet we are treated gracefully for what we do, and people look at us and they cherish what we do, but we neglect this.
There's two comedians that I always looked up to growing up because I like comedy. I've done comedy by myself. I was actually saying this today at work. I was like, because I work for a call center. JC Ehrlich, hashtag JC Ehrlich. I do calling for the company, and I said I can literally get in front of hundreds of people and tell jokes and laugh and have a good time, but as soon as that phone rings, I'm like, oh crap, you know, like what do I say? Because we type so much stuff into the computer, we talk so much. I'm literally trying to type 60 words per minute and talk to someone and have a really nice conversation.
But you're not being a bigot about it.
No, not even close.
You're not even being a bigot because you were taught that certain moral of respect. And that is what we are talking about. You know, it has to deal with a lot.
Even if they didn't care about how we spoke to people, that's just the first time I ever met you. Even if I would have met you outside of knowing Emily, I would have never talked to you any different. Color, skin color, attitude,
we come
I
from
will
different
kill you
backgrounds.
with kindness because that's just how I am.
We come from different backgrounds. Everybody comes from a different background. We're not all meant to be the same.
If
we were all the same, we'd be drones and we will have an ant queen.
We come from different parent skills.
We come from different things.
I had no parents. I was homeless, things like that. He had a good upbringing. He had like that structure.
I have my structure.
Just a structure.
I have my structure. I was raised by my grandmothers. My mom and my dad were
That's
in my
how I
life.
was
But the thing is, I learned, I was taught, you know, to depend on myself, to be prepared for no matter what, to deal with everything. I had my house since I was 19. I'm 30 years old now.
Yeah.
That has been the biggest responsibility I want, and I want more. But the thing is, I went to school for acting. I never thought I was going to be so good, but I wanted more. I don't get the chance to really go out and do my dreams. I've been to The Voice here and there, and America's Got Talent.
See, I know I look ugly now, but I used to actually be a model. I've modeled for Abercrombie. I've modeled for Hollister, GQ, magazine.
I seen his posters in Target.
I never did Target. I did JCPenney, though.
Well, Abercrombie's in Target.
Are they?
You'd be amazed.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, pretty much what it comes down to is we've all been through different things. No one makes it there. There are certain people that have made it there. But that's because they're forgetting the people that made it on their way. No. I had a teacher in, what was that, 5th grade, Miss Stobel. Shout out to Miss Stobel. She was my math teacher. And I could be having the worst day. It does not matter. And that woman, because of her sternness and her undying desire to be on top of me, because she knew that I could be something. She always killed me. I could walk in, not chewing gum whatsoever, not even have gum in my mouth, sit in the back of the room. She could be doing a problem. I could put a new piece of gum. She had blinders on or something. Like she could see behind her, and she'd go, "Tom, spit your gum out." We're not allowed to chew gum in my middle school. So I would get up, I'd walk over, and then she'd be like, "Wait, that was your first time this week, huh?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's my first time." And she's like, "Okay, now go sit against the wall." And I would have to squat against the wall for 2 minutes. And nowadays, that's seen as like a child's, neglect, not neglect, like you're beating them.
Abuse.
Yeah, abuse, child abuse. Like, no, that was her trying to teach me how to be a man. You walk in the classroom and she says, "Don't chew gum in my classroom." I chew gum. All right, now I know I'm chewing gum. Now go sit against a room, sit there like this, do that for 2 minutes. Okay, you can't do it for 2 minutes? That's fine. You made it a minute and a half? Next time you come in my class, you got 30 seconds on the clock.
That's it.
Okay, I'll do
the
30
thing is,
seconds again.
It's. I guess you can say that the culture these days now. He's getting a little beer break.
Get another beer.
All right, but I say it like this: the biggest thing now is that America has flaws, and the thing is, it's not about you hate this person, you hate that person, and we do this and that. People are being killed left and right. I'm from Reading, Pennsylvania. I hear about friends, family members, and people dying left and right, man. It's sad. And then to hear the issue down in Charlotte, North Carolina, Barcelona, Spain. Did Donald Trump do anything for Barcelona, Spain? Fuck no.
Oh,
yeah,
come
back
on
then,
now.
back then, they will go after somebody who got kidnapped in Iraq.
This is the problem, though. We didn't overstep because we've been yelled at a lot lately because of our overstepping. As soon as we found out that Americans had died in it, we are already on top of it.
No, of course they're always on top of it. But what they're going to do about it?
The same thing that we've been doing lately.
Are they going to penalize them?
Donald Trump is the first president, in my eyes, that's done anything that's scared anyone off.
Donald Trump, I give him a lot of respect because he manipulated the whole game. And the thing is, you got to understand, back in 1996, they had to sit down with him years ago. And this is when he was...
Said Democrats are stupid, or Republicans are stupid, and they'll vote for me regardless.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you know what I'm talking about then.
Yep.
And that was the biggest thing. He pushed that. Now, look at most of the people that were supporting him.
He also said that
Trump,
the only reason that he wouldn't...
But he wasn't against that.
He also said that the only reason that he wouldn't go and be a Democrat is because they were too dumb and he'd rather have a smarter party. That's why he said the Republican part. If you listen to the full actual... Because it was on Oprah, I believe.
No, it was Larry King.
Was it Larry King? Okay.
It was Larry King. And the thing is, you got to remember, Donald Trump comes not from an American family. He comes from a mixed family.
Of course he does.
He's not, everybody think, oh, he's Dutch. He's Dutch. He's not Dutch. I guess he has Dutch in him. He's not pure Dutch. He was taught to respect others. He did what nobody else could do. And with all due respect, I'm glad he's president. But the thing is, I want to see what he can do.
$100,000 loan from his rich uncle and turned into a $4.2 billion industry.
$1 million from his
Was it $1 million? Okay, so $1 million. And turned into a $4.2 billion industry. People keep on talking about, oh, he failed at this, he failed at this,
and
he failed at
bankruptcy.
this. All right,
But
cool.
he did bankruptcy, and he got money back because of the insurance trade.
Does anybody know this weird guy named Mark Cuban?
Cuban.
He's on Shark Tank, and he also owns the Mavericks. That guy started off with a really nice loan from his family as well. Sold an IT company for $2.3 billion and made it into... He could stop everything that he's doing right now, and everybody that is on Shark Tank couldn't buy his company because all of their money together is not even worth half of what that dude is worth. He literally owns the show now. They can do whatever the hell they want to, and this dude will be worth at least double of all their money together.
Oh yeah.
They're even when they got that like creepy older guy.
Yeah, I know
every once in
I know what you're talking about.
He would just show up kind of like randomly. I don't know what he really does, but he outweighs everybody. Anybody that's... You can add all of the millionaires that have been on the show, and they will not even come close to touching how much Mark Cuban's worth. He owns a basketball team. He owns an arena football team. He owns an actual arena. Like Jim Irsay. I'm a huge Colts fan. Jim Irsay owns Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana. That dude is worth dumb amounts of money. But the problem is he's actually a dum-dum. Instead of letting the coaches and the CEOs and all that stuff, assistant coaches and people that are actually going out and looking for players and all that stuff, come together and choose people, he always has to have his hand in everything. I honestly wish I wasn't a Colts fan just because I hate him as an owner. Peyton Manning, they did him dirty. They were like, okay, he's never coming back, blah, blah, blah. he had 4 neck surgeries. Okay, he had 4 neck surgeries. Let's just get rid of him. They picked up Andrew Luck. I love Andrew Luck. I'm a huge fan. It took me 2 years to become a fan of that guy. He is a dog. That guy played with a torn rotator cuff in his throwing arm, and on top of that, played with a lacerated kidney that he got when he was playing the Broncos while Peyton Manning was playing.
Yep.
And they beat him that game, and he finished the game. That's why he's in so much crap right now, because he's a dog. He plays his hardest. But Peyton Manning got done dirty from Jim Irsay. Jim Irsay was just like, nah, we're not going to pay him the money for it. Okay. So then he's going to retire, and Jim Irsay calls him up, and he's like, yo, we'll give you $1 million, show up, we'll retire your jersey, all that stuff. He's like, let me talk to my family about it. Comes back, and he goes, nah, I'm good. They ask him why, and he goes, listen, I'm not going to say exactly why I decided against this, but let's just say that I wasn't happy in the way that I left the complex,
Yeah.
the building that I built.
Yep.
He played for him for 13 seasons.
And he did what he had to do.
And he won 8 of those for the conference.
Yeah. And you know what? That's the biggest thing of all. We're showing.
Don't do people you love dirty.
That's what he
Protect
does.
your loved ones.
You gotta do what's right. And you see how these people become successful. They don't deal with the bigotry. And that's the biggest thing. You know, we might talk about sports. We might talk about illiteral things that, you know, people else don't see it that way. But if you look at the main
Don't go off on bunny
facts-
trails and talk about shit that doesn't even have to do with what we're talking about.
No. We're talking about bits and pieces, but you could get to a point that each person has succeeded to a certain boundary. Not putting people down, not commencing something that seems to be hurtful for the community or their own, you know, society. And that's the biggest thing that we need to talk about now. It's unity. If you can unite and watch a fucking football team or watch a boxing team, basketball team, and y'all can fucking root for your team and have respect for the next team, and then come New Year's, we're all hugging and kissing each other. Come on, people.
See,
It's time to get it down.
In one of our last vlogs, I had made a comment about Marshawn Lynch. And I honestly think Marshawn Lynch might have listened to our podcast because
Yeah, you did.
he sat down for the national anthem the other day, and it kind of fucking bothered me. Like, I understand why, but at the same time I don't, because the national anthem, again, is not about like hatred or stupidity or anything like that. It's celebrating our country. I get why they're doing it, I really do, but there's a
But the
problem
thing is,
because
it's not what the country did. It's what a certain person in the society did. And that's the problem.
But-
whether you're a cop or you're a person that's walking down the street.
our country was literally divided, and it was the
Yeah.
worst war ever.
It was the biggest situations that we ever had to deal with.
And here we are now.
Yeah.
And we're still dealing with it.
We're gonna-
If anything, you're creating more division between everything that we're trying to build. You guys
With-
think you're making a difference, but you're not. You're dividing us more, and you're making us
With the certain boundary.
dislike someone. There's not one white person that's sitting down. There's not Spanish people that are sitting down. It's all black people.
Yeah.
And I don't understand it because, no offense against anything, but
Do understand? I was against a girl. Now, do understand? I was against a girl when the issues happened in Philadelphia with the cop shootings. A girl stood up and they were doing a march. It was a unity march. How the girl who was leading the march came out. I forgot her name, but
she didn't even know what the hell she was saying.
she was black. Now, the thing is, she came out and said, all my black and brown brothers and sisters come up front, all the white people go back. The one man stood up and said, you cause segregation right there, you cause a problem. Segregation is not what we need right now.
She literally said, go sit in the back of the bus.
Not sitting back in the bus, but go into the back of the march.
So go sit in the back of the bus.
Yeah.
Rosa Parks fought for that for a reason. I'm
But
not
when
going
you-
to the back of the
but
bus.
when you came out and said, you don't take other brothers and sisters who are white and tell them to go in the back. You tell them, you march with us. If you're with us, you march together with us. Hand in hand, man to man, women to women. We stand together. We stand united. That's it. United we stand, divided we fall. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go no further on this because I'm going to tell everybody. This is the biggest thing. Unity is key in life. No matter where you are. Unity is key in life.
Brotherhood.
That's it.
White, black, yellow, green, red, orange. We don't give a shit.
You see me come down here looking green, yo, you better call a fucking hospital because I either got sick from eating some bad sushi.
If you see me coming out here green, it's just because we
drunk.
ate the same sushi. But to be completely honest, guys, straight up, no bullshit. We love everybody. We have never segregated against anything. My wife at this point just happens to be an amazing German blonde girl, but I have dated my fair share of other ethnicity.
My wife is
ethnicity.
Yeah, my wife is black and Caribbean. I don't need to get into explanation of what she is. She has mixtures of everything, from African all the way to Indian. Not Mediterranean Indian. Indian as a native. But the thing is, I love my wife for who she is, and that's that. We're gonna kill it because we're about to lose some time. I'm Aldo Vapor Rivera. This is my man Ice Rice.
Ice Rice.
Y'all keep it real. Y'all keep it live. You know what I'm
Brotherhood.
saying?
Get it, kids. We'll see you later.